Labubu dolls.
Cancel. Shut up. I'm carrying on.
Oh my God.
Yes, I'm not friends anymore.
I'm with you.
I initially have worn lehengas with all this can and lady,
Yeah, there
it
was
just
a lot of
doesn't fit
time
in the
for it.
suitcase. Always being in touch with the designers you want for the store, even if you don't have them. So I don't mind bell bottoms, but I think they don't really do much.
A very crucial part about trends is that I only pick up trends that align with my brand identity.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she will also know this is sequencing. So any product which is selling fast, you need to put it on the top of the website, on the top page.
And now we know why she won't answer a call for 2 days. If at all.
Hi fam, welcome back to another episode of the Roology Ramble, where we let the audacious souls take over and the fashion world gets all the more real. Today we're going to deep dive into a side of fashion that's usually working behind the scenes and rarely gets their moment in the spotlight. Have you ever walked past a store window and felt like that cozy wool sweater or that dreamy swing dress is literally calling out your name? Or have you ever found yourself 10 scrolls down an Instagram account of a brand? Yeah, well, that's not magic, it's not voodoo. This is what we call the artful science of merchandising. And today we've got not one, but two senior merchandisers in the house to break it down for you. So please welcome Shona Barua and Aditi Kanaya.
Hello.
Hi guys, we're so thrilled to have you on board. And first of all, thank you so much for doing this. And this is something that we do with all our guests, where we ask them to sort of introduce themselves because who knows your story better than you? So please do the honors.
Hi, I'm Aditi Kanaya. I'm a fashion curator and merchandiser. For me, usually, if something is fun, bold, and fabulous, I guess I'm in.
So where do I begin? I'm Shona. I'm not just a fashion curator slash merchandiser. I also am a partner in a boutique event company, which is going through a process where we're a work in progress right now. And apart from that, I also host events in nightlife for the last 8 years. And adding to that, I'm actually starting something in the wellness space as well, in hosting and doing something in Pilates and stuff like that. So yeah, mix of a lot of things.
Love that. So we've got guests with like multiple feathers in their hats. So I am quickly gonna address the elephant in the room, which is fashion merchandising. I think a lot of people say this term out loud and they have the most absurd meanings, but no one's really sure about what is fashion merchandising. So would you like explain it in the simplest way possible to our audience?
I'd say fashion merchandising in a very simple way. I think it's, when you tune into trying to understand what's actually in trend and what's, trending in fashion basically, and understanding at the same time what your customer would actually resonate with and what actually sells. And I think Shona will agree it will have like
Yeah.
a lot of Excel sheets in between all of
Oh my God, I dream of that. Dream and nightmares. But I think the simplest way, I think you've heard the term right place, right time.
Yeah.
I think this is right product, right client, right time.
Right time,
I think these three words is what, like even my close friends don't really know what I actually do. Like, because it's quite merchandising, they don't really hear it that often. So in my eyes, the idea is where you have to make sure the client wants to buy that product, and it needs to be in season, it needs to be in trend. If it's on discount, it needs to be available on that discount, considering it's a multi-designer store where both of us work at. It's a little, you have to make sure that the discount another brand is giving on their website or in their store is something that you also need to have available in the multi-designer platform. So I think best is like in 3 words: right product, right person, right time.
Yeah.
Beautifully said. And I think the thing that you said about the client wanting to buy it, you making the product as such that the client wants to buy it. Now that's where I feel like marketing sort of comes into the picture. And there's this saying that if marketing is the promise, then merchandising is the fulfillment of that promise. So what do you think about the statement? And because a lot of times people confuse marketing with merchandising. So just how do you think they're different?
I think, merchandising is about, what you want to showcase and how and when you showcase it, right? Like she said, it's a lot about timing. Like I can have the most stunning collection, but if it's not the right season for it, or if people aren't wearing it to the customer that I'm looking at, it's basically pointless. And marketing, I think, comes in when it's more about how you get your customer excited to want to buy it. Like when they see something, how do you promote it? How do you push it? How do you make someone believe that I need this? So I think it's more that's the difference between the two.
Yeah, I think for like similar to what she said, it's where marketing is it reaching the customer, getting the customer through the door, and merchandising is making sure the customer buys the product. So I think that's a big difference. I think even now, for example, when you go through Instagram Reels or whatever sponsored ads on while you're scrolling through Instagram, you see a product which you like. So now what we need to do is we need to make sure if the customer opens that website or like swipes up to see that product, it's in stock, it's available in the size the customer wants, and it also is like I said, the discount or any applicable discounts or any offers are available, that needs to be available. So I think these three things is where we have to make sure the customer buys it, and it's basically getting the client to the website or the door is, I think, what the marketing team's job
Yeah,
is.
it needs to reach the right eyeballs, I guess.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that basically marketing the customer needs to see it, so in some way or the other. So that way I think, and then merchandising is where we need to make sure the customer buys it. I think that's what
So
it
you have
needs
you have to get the right thing in place as a merchandiser. For us, like, you have to ensure that, I mean, if somebody is looking for resort wear, you have resort wear. Like, there's no point trying to sell them a sweatshirt when they're going to Europe in the summer, It's that. And marketing is how you'll promote that. Like, how do you tell someone, oh yeah, we know you're going on a tropical holiday and this is why you need it.
And yeah, there is also one big error sometimes people make. So for instance, the merchandiser has a close connection with the marketing team, like the merchandising team, marketing always have to be talking.
Yeah.
So sometimes what happens is that, this is just for an instance which I have gone through, is that if you give campaign images to the marketing team, you need to tell them that, see, these pieces, out of these images now, there could be some pieces which are out of stock in the stock, like in the merch, from what I understand. And because of that, I need to tell the marketing team, promote these pictures because this is what the designer has available. Sometimes if they promote the wrong image, then if that product isn't in stock, so then that's a problem. That becomes a merchandising mistake, which a lot of people have witnessed, seen, they swipe up and it's out of stock. So that actually does happen more than you think. So
And
that
even
is
I feel even when the collection is just wider, it's very important to point out what is it that will, give out the aesthetic that you're trying to give out. There's a lot from the collection that, like she said, either won't be in stock or what you're just not housing. To try and promote that all the time doesn't make sense, and especially if you're trying to promote a certain concept. So I think
so
it has to work in harmony, like both these things.
Yeah,
Hand
so
in
right
hand.
thing at the right time, like you said.
Exactly.
It has to be perfect, because if you're promoting something and the zeitgeist is not the same, if the event is not the same, then it just doesn't make sense. Right? So, people have this confusion about marketing and merchandising. We also see a lot of confusion happening in terms of what a job role is supposed to look like. Like, for example, when we hire design interns these days think that, okay, this is a design role, so I'm just gonna be sitting there sketching out all day and call it a day. But there's so much more to a role. So similarly, I would like you to run us through your day, right from the teeniest, tiniest details.
That's a long answer.
It's a long answer. It's going to be a confusing one.
That's okay. But fashion is all about chaos.
It's chaotic for
Definitely.
Exactly.
You want to go first?
sure. No, start. Go for it.
So for me, I have a couple of clients, first of all, in the merchandising space in curations. So one is the House of Migo, which is jewelry. It's a multi-designer platform for jewelry, which is Indian, like Indian designers and international. So that is one. Then there is Project Tete, which is like a mix of apparel mainly. I mainly handle the apparel part of it. And for jewelry, it's only online, and we just opened a store. And for PTAT, Project Tete, it's a mix of pop-ups, a mix of online and offline. So that's a lot of usually major companies like Purnia and Aza, they have separate teams. They have an online team, they have an offline team, they have a different person who handles pop-ups as well. So especially in like a company that is less than maybe 5 years old, we end up doing a lot of everything. So I would think that in like on a day-to-day, it's first of all, it's always being in touch with the designers you want for the store, even if you don't have them. Like certain brands which I really want for my store, I am making sure I'm contacting them every other day, not like a stalker, but every other day,
You have
just
to
to make
remind them you
sure,
exist.
yeah, that I'm here, you know, and that's actually worked really well in my favor. So that is number one. Then always making sure all the line sheets are available. I think that is a big part, especially considering that online has become such a big space. So having line sheets, so sometimes you know, you have to explain, like I send a template, so that's all the information that you need from the designer to upload on the website. So that, along with catalog images, making sure all the images are also renamed according to your designer code, because then like the website team can, you know, make sure and, you know, make sure everything is uploaded correctly, making sure pricing is correct and there's price parity on all platforms, including the designer website and other MBOs. This is for offline and online. So making sure all of these things, making sure campaign images reach the marketing team and social media team, just so that it's like, for example, if I get a collection uploaded, the marketing team doesn't know, so they need to make sure they know that this, so I'm like, immediately promote this designer. So all of that, so then they also know what needs to be uploaded for the week.
Right.
Apart from that, I curate a lot for my client at PTAT for Soho House, and we do approximately an average of 3 to 4 in a year. So
Okay.
while doing all of this, it's also onboarding brands for that, and that's on like a rental basis usually. So getting
True.
brands to you know, come on board for events like this, and curating it in such a way where it kind of in tune with the Soho House crowd, in tune with the hosts we are getting on board,
Right.
to kind of call the buying clientele. So it's mix of all of that, and then handling a team under you also, of you know, making sure they are doing everything right.
Right.
I like teaching, so
Okay.
the person who used to work under me, she's left now, but she was like, I like teaching her it's like, you know, giving the reins to someone especially when I'm not available,
Yeah.
because I do not work full time for PTAT. So
Right.
I want to make sure that the quality of work is not going
Getting
down.
compromised,
So
yeah.
that is something I really have to make sure they're properly trained. So that is something I actually do enjoy doing also, in a way, because it's pretty fun. But yeah, I think that's a little bit of I'm forgetting maybe 5 things, but yeah,
More than
that's
5 for sure.
Yeah, more than 5 for sure. But yeah, and then speaking to designers who are already onboarded on a daily basis, I think that also is part of merchandising, and
Yeah.
talking to the marketing team on a daily basis as well. So that's a gist of it. Have I covered everything? No, I haven't.
No, you haven't.
Would you like to add something?
So I think, you know, like it sounds only like it's a lot of things that you do at, you know, in a day also, and at a given point. There's so much happening, like literally, you know, I'll probably be on a phone call trying to, you know, close a deal, get someone on board. And then like literally the next minute there's like, I see, oh, there is like, a new collection has arrived, and then you have to make sure that is the paperwork in place. Like there's so much that goes into it. Like
Tagging.
dude. Challan is there, not
Challan,
there, does
tagging.
it tally? Like,
My
it looks
God.
so glamorous on the outside, for everybody to think that, oh, like it's all fashion and wow, you curate. But there's a lot of tiny things that go into this, right? Like something as simple as a challan, like is it there, is it not there? Did it
Excel
tally?
sheets.
Get me
Excel
my
sheets.
tags, and then it goes on display, and then suddenly, the next minute you're like doing something else altogether, like you're sitting and making a selection for what's coming next. At the
Right.
same time, you're planning for 4 months ahead of that. Oh, I have to do that pop up then,
Yeah.
and then so
Exactly.
it's a roller coaster.
It is a roller coaster.
But she'll agree. I think it's one that at least we enjoy.
Yeah, of
I
course.
somehow really love it.
I
I
love
love
it.
the chaos.
I love the chaos. I was just gonna
The
say that.
chaos gives me that OCD of making sure everything is in an Excel
Yeah.
sheet.
Like if everything is, oh, I have to do only this now and then that later, that's not fun. Like I
Yeah,
like
plus
it. Like,
you're
oh my
not-
god, I have to do everything now.
Yeah, you're not stuck with just doing one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're dealing with brands, you're dealing
Yeah.
with clients, and then Excel sheets.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
also dealing with marketing teams. I feel like it's fun because when you do one thing, it also gets very
Yeah.
redundant and boring.
I think one of
Yeah.
the most important parts which I forgot to tell you is also data analysis to make
Yes.
sure
Yeah.
what is selling. That is
Yes,
actually one of the
that's
key
so,
parts
so
of
important.
merchandising.
Yeah.
Where if a designer isn't selling, I have to review it. I have to see what's selling from, like we do this every week. We figure out at least
Yeah.
for offline. Then online, so you get a full Excel sheet again.
Yeah,
online
Where
lots of
they give
data,
you a
yeah.
full data of what's
Yeah.
selling, what isn't. So you need to know from each designer, give them feedback also. That
Right.
okay, this design is doing well, maybe add it in the color of the year. Like do these kind of little
Yeah.
twerks
Yeah.
to increase your sales.
Yeah.
Right.
So these little things, I think mainly the data analysis also is a big part
Yeah, I
of
think
it.
it's a very important tool even for designers because we also are constantly on the lookout. I think I had a discussion with you also about like why certain things are working, why
Yeah,
they're not,
yeah.
what season should we be working in, and
Yeah.
I think
Also having a discussion with designers, what is selling from their end, we need to take that into account. And also, I'm sure she will also
Yeah.
know this, is the sequencing. So any product which is selling fast, you need to put it on the top of the website, on the top page. Like
Right.
when you're scrolling, it's in the first 2-3 scrolls. So the customer doesn't have to go keep looking to find it because
Yeah.
they lose interest then. This is like
Oh,
a big
that's-
plus in online especially. And even racks, I have OCD when if I enter the store and it's not like in a color way, like it's not suddenly
Yeah, there
there's a
needs to be
red there and
some
then there's red
harmony
over
in
here.
it. Yeah,
It needs
yeah.
to all be
Yeah.
very color coordinated. I think that's also a visual merchandising aspect of
Yeah.
it.
we're
I think
already
just
deep diving into
understanding-
like a lot of topics now. We're gonna be covering so much of that. But it's okay. Okay, guys. So I like to rewind a little bit, and I'm very curious to know how you guys ended up in a field like fashion merchandising because it's not something that you wake up and just go like, okay, I want to be a fashion merchandiser. It's usually like, oh, I want to be a designer, I want to be a stylist, because these are the sort of roles that are already out there, career options that are like in the face. So how did you all reach this decision?
So, for me, honestly, I always knew since I was very young that I want to be in fashion. That was one thing that was that I knew, like it was etched. Like this is what I have to do. And of course, I started off with design. That was what I thought is what I wanted to do. But then when I was working with this designer, Vikram Fadnis, he back in the day had started a beautiful multi-designer store. And that's when even I got to even know about, what merchandising is like. Like it was all very new to me. And that's when I started exploring it and
Right.
understanding what it actually is. Before that, I honestly didn't even know something like that existed as such
Yeah.
as a full profile. Yeah.
So mine also is little similar. I actually I interned with Papa Don't Preach. Then I worked at Manish Malhotra, and I actually started a label.
Oh.
And it was called Barua,
Oh.
and Barua, ESBARUA. But that was very short-lived because I feel like I wasn't ready then. This was like literally just after Manish Malhotra. I was like, I want to start a label. And I did not know anything about budgeting. I did not know anything about analysis. And I was like, you know what? I think I need to work a little more. So that's when I joined Purnia's pop-up shop. And in fact, I was joining as a merchandiser, but I told them, can I be in the retail store for few months to understand what clients like?
Right.
Because that is so important for a
Yeah.
designer as well. What are the issues, what kind of clients come, what price points are working. So it was more or less like being like just being there day to day, seeing what they like, what are the issues. So I did that for a few months, then I shifted to the merchandising team. And when then I mainly wanted to work as a merchandiser as well is because I wanted to understand what is selling in the market, and what better place to do it than like a big company like Aza or Purnia, like one
Yeah.
of these kind of sites. And along the way, I just fell in love with merchandising itself, like having that relationship with designers, speaking to them, like, you know, on a day to day, like you form friendships, you really
Right.
care about the brand. So like even like there are times in the meeting where you're fighting with the marketing, you have to promote this designer, you know how much she has done to be here. So like that kind of bond
Yeah.
like forms.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I am someone who also thinks that like online is the future, which is why I even shifted to the online. Like they've started like separating the teams into offline merchandising
Definitely.
and online.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to be in the online team because I think this was also just before pre-COVID, where, you know, everything went online,
Yes,
everyone started
for
shopping
sure.
online. So yeah, that's where I was. And in that you understand the data. It's not like I'm saying I don't want to be a designer right now. I think that is something which might be in the cards later.
Right, so this is
But
like
I
R&D for
definitely
you.
feel like now I feel I could start a brand where I know which pop-ups to take part in, like what kind of product to sell, which is
Yeah.
my customer, all of that. So
Yeah.
that knowledge is just like it's basically priceless, I think.
Holy grail, I think. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that is what our R&D looks like, and we would love to do that, but there's no time anymore. But yeah, anyway, so fashion merchandising sort of happened to both of you. You all have
Yeah.
also like studied design formally. So, what would you suggest to the people who are, you know, looking for a career in fashion merchandising? Do you think they should study it or like have hands-on experience, or what is the something that you guys couldn't get that you feel like the people now should go for?
I think, you know, like Shona said, you know, actually understanding who your customer is so important when it comes to wanting to start, you know, a career in fashion merchandising. And that's something even I learned in my earlier days by being on the shop floor.
Right.
That's, you know, that's the only time, you know, when even when you're observing, you're just listening to how people, what are they talking about, where are they going, what are they doing. That's the only way you can, you know, curate something for that customer. If you don't know who they are, what kind of spending capacity they have, or what are the kind of weddings they're attending,
Yeah.
how are you going to put together curation for them that they actually want to shop?
Right.
So even with my time that I was at Vikram Fadnis, there was a lot of time that I would spend on the floor. And then when I moved on and when I was working in Aza, I was there for a very long time. And I would still, even though I was, at that point, I was a merchandiser by then, but I would spend a lot of time on the shop floor just trying to understand what it is. So I think more than studying it but in theory, it is very important to be able to get this knowledge practically. And it's
Yeah.
only with experience and time that you start understanding you know, patterns and behaviors and how your clients actually react to
Right.
collections and looks in general.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I feel it's easier for you to curate.
I also had, in fact, my least favorite subject in
Oh my God,
college was
same.
merchandising.
Same.
I'm not even, because I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Like the theory of it, I didn't really understand. So what I would say is start working, because I have studied, like my family, like they were little like, where, because fashion was something which out of the blue I thought of doing. It wasn't like
Yeah.
something where I was like as a beta, like, you know, like, "Aapko kya karna hai fashion?" No, it wasn't like that at all. I just decided one day, and then they were like, "Are you sure you're gonna just change your mind later?"
Yeah.
So I actually did a
always
BA
like
in
that.
sociology.
Yeah, it's always like that.
I did a BA in sociology side by side while doing fashion
yes,
design and then
same.
fashion business management. So in fashion business management, so I've studied a lot, and I feel like if what I learned at Manish Malhotra in 1 year is so much more than what I learned, for years and years of
Yeah.
studying.
College.
And then when I learned at Purnia also, it's like all of it, like I think the work experience is priceless. And
Right.
I think definitely, like, I would recommend, if you are studying, of course, it's very important. Kids, all of y'all, please study at home. Don't you listen to me completely. But I think there should be like a balance in a way where you maybe do your studies, do a few internships, do something, because I think that is way more important.
No, but I totally agree, because I feel like no matter what career you're in, once you get out of college, there's such a big gap that you realize once you're in the field doing something. And I feel like the best way to sort of learn something is to be there. Like if you think about merchandising, if you go back in the days, like today there's a big myth that merchandising is all about making things look pretty and making them, an aesthetic. But it's a psychology that you're sort of studying. It's the timing, it's the demographics, it's the right locality. Like if you think about really like our childhood days, we would pass by these stores that had these, mannequins that would just go like namaste, and
God,
they would
that
be
sounds like a
wearing-
nightmare, doesn't it?
Yes, but that is what sort of like got the client to like in. And then it was the responsibility of the brand to make that conversion. But then what color she is wearing or what action she is doing, the whole science of it is something that people do not look at. So I feel like, what do you think in that area the role of merchandising is as a strategy for marketing, other than just making things look pretty like what people think?
I think, like I said earlier, it's where you have a meeting with your full team every week. Like that's what I do. I do, like, at least for offline. It's like you need to make sure, okay, what is working, who's coming in, how many walk-ins are happening in a day. Designers ask these questions too. They're like, what are your walk-ins when you're onboarding them? They want to know what kind of walk-ins you have in a day. So like when a person comes in, I want to know the age group. I want to know like what products. So I've noticed, at least in the Western wear category, tops sell more, bottoms a little tougher to sell. So I always speak to designers, like maybe you can give me more of your tops. Now for jumpsuits, for example, we've noticed smalls and mediums go faster than a large and XL. So we try to make sure that the quantities of a small and medium is higher than a large and XL in these certain styles. So I think in this case, like, there needs to be proper data which you take from the store team, like who's coming in. I make sure that I tell them to get the guest book out. We get, find out what all is happening. Then whoever's selling, whatever's sold, I want like a full list of products that are selling at that point. And then I want, like, when a new collection comes of that designer, I want broadcast sent to those customers, because I think that is also essential. So how to strategize that, I think
with that analysis you also get a lot of insight on how do you bring it's all about the moment, right? You have to get that moment right. Like now when something like the Mocha Mousse dropped, and everybody like I think was obsessed, like your screens, your outfits, your everything, like everything on your phone was like you're just seeing Mocha Mousse and butter yellow and everything, right? So it is because you caught that moment. Merchandising is all about your forecasting, so it's not you can't react on it once the trend is already there. You missed it then.
you have to be up at it,
Forecast before it's even there.
And
because you don't get that moment right, and then the trend is gone, and that's what people are looking for in that moment. So how do you capture that moment, I think is key.
Right. So you say trend is like one very important factor.
Very important. But sometimes it's like, I have seen, like, through data analysis you understand these things, where I have seen a designer where their whole collection is selling more online. There are these certain pieces, so I push them saying, make it in another print, make the same silhouette, do these kind of things. Don't break something that is already working, like don't lose it. So that's why certain designers have a signature piece in a way, like, or a custom,
Classics.
like classics.
Yeah.
So that is what I think is also essential. And when I'm looking through lookbooks and we're doing curations and stuff like that, like, we always push them to try and add colors of the season, like she said.
Yeah.
And so it's basically a mix of everything, where there's data analysis, what's trending, how to curate it, also seeing what sells, what doesn't sell, just for that particular store. Because what could
Right.
work in project that might not work at Nezo and vice versa.
So the geographical location is also something you'd say is very...
Not necessarily just it does matter, but it could be when Nezo is attracting a different clientele, PTAT is attracting a different kind of clientele, because there is still difference in curation.
Right.
And because I think Nezo is strictly Western, right? Like
Mostly, it is more Western and contemporary, but I mean, of course, living, having a store in Bombay with so many weddings and all of that happening, there is, we still, it's, you're merchandising through a certain aesthetic. So even if it's Indian wear, it'll be like more fun and more quirky, more edgy. It won't be like your very run-of-the-mill sort of looks.
Right.
Yeah. So similar with us, we do keep 2 racks because the mother company, the parent company of Project Editor is Sagar Sarees.
Right.
So we already have an existing customer who like a little bit of ethnic. So like brands like Sheetal Batra is available at the store. So I mean, like, why break something that is working, right?
Yeah,
So like I said, so I think that's why PTAT, we have a mix of Indian and ethnic and fusion, but we try and keep it a little more fun. That's why we have 2 sections also. Like, you've been to the store.
Yeah, of
so
course.
when you enter, it's all Western, and then you flow through it, and then it's all like, you're thinking about your mehendi.
Suddenly, just like, I also have to attend a wedding, so maybe this is my rack.
Perfect.
But that's how it is. I mean, that is
Putting
again
that thought
your
in the
visual
mind.
merchandising.
Yes,
That's how it
very
works.
important.
Like when you'll enter, like even a store like Nezo, you'll probably see like something really hot for like a party, and you're just like, ooh, this is like, I want to wear this for my birthday. I want to wear this for my after party. Stuff like yours, right? And suddenly you will just walk past it and you're just like, oh, Cape Sari.
Or like a resort wear, maybe even for the honeymoon.
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
knows?
And it's also a little bit of a thing we've purposely done in visual, is that, like, now if a person who wants Indian wear, you make them go through the Western wear. What if they like
What
some
if they like
Western
it?
wear?
Exactly.
Then you
Exactly.
take
All
them
the
to the
time,
Indian wear.
right?
So
So
that's
all about
also
the
one.
psychology.
Yeah. So all of this
Love
also
that.
we
Love
think
that.
of.
It's a sweet little trap.
Don't want to be saying that on record. So from what I've understood so far, merchandising has a lot to do with data analysis, getting to know your customers, getting in their skins to sort of understand where they go, what they do in their free time, their idea of a recreational activity, everything, right? So when you're just starting out, how do you sort of get this data? Like, these are some very crucial points, right? How do you collect this data and then use it to strategize?
Like I've been pointed out before, when you interact, in a space where the customer is present, either you're directly interacting with the customer or you are still spending some time on the shop floor trying to understand who are these people, right? That's the traditional way I feel that, you would actually get data, because now we have all of the systems and, we're getting AI and all the technology that's helping you get all this data together in one place. But initially, you did not have this kind of data so easily available for you to just pick up, with a few clicks. So it would be connecting with your team and, sitting down and talking to them and understanding with either the salesperson who's on the front, that who is it that's buying, what are they looking for, what are they not looking for, what kind of sizes are they looking for, colors, silhouettes, occasions. Like, it's every little detail that a customer is talking to either you about or somebody in your team about. Like, I think you need to have an exact breakdown. So in like a space like Nezo, where I am currently, it is because it's a small space, it's still new. I'm very much present right there. Like, I'm sitting just across a counter. So one is I can just hear them speak and whatever they are saying, and you pick up from that. And in general, you need to sit down and have a conversation with your team and understand what is it that people are looking out for. And of course, then you have all your data that comes in from your systems that generate all of this very easily. Understanding what price points work for your customer, what is like, like how many pieces do you think they pick up, what are the sizes, what are the silhouettes. Like I'll know, like for example, like, oh, I know dresses sell a lot for me, so I know it's a no-brainer that I can go pick up, choose some dresses for the store and they will always work.
Right.
So I think that's what
I do agree with her. Like everything she's saying is spot on. Especially when we started out, so I was with Project Eratet from ground zero. Like I got messaged on LinkedIn and all of that, and Sumit, the founder, we had a discussion. So first, what I asked is, what is your, like, what are you thinking, like what are you seeing this being? So that is the first thing I asked, and then he said he wants it. So Project Eratet also means to have a conversation, connecting people.
Right.
So that's what he wanted. So that's where, that's where the curation is pretty vast. It's not just, it's exactly like, oh, it's just party wear or something like that. So when I did that, I did the curation, and what I understood from, like, first of all, I immediately made a group saying whatever sold pieces, I want images of those pieces on the group with the tag. So I immediately know, because I don't work from the store every day, I work from home. So one of the crucial things is, since I'm not there, I'm like constantly checking what is selling immediately, like at least starting off. And I think that's where I understood, okay, this is this product. So then what I also would like to do is, I immediately tell the designer, I'm like, listen, this is working really well, why don't you give this to me in some color? So that's how you kind of increase the collection in a certain way. What isn't working, like I speak to them, I ask the sales team, I'm like, are you like, are these pants working for the for the brand? They're like, no. So then you do not want to stick on, like, keep so much inventory of a designer when they can maybe sell it somewhere else.
Right.
So that is also something, because I know how hard designing is. Like, I know how it's slow fashion. There is so much trial and error. So I really have a soft spot for designers. So to make sure that they are not we are not keeping dead inventory, I want to send it back to them. So ideally, in a case like this, it's like whatever is selling we keep asking for, and whatever is not working we try and send back, to make sure we optimize the sales in a way.
Right. So this was all this is all useful when there's visual merchandising happening in store. Right now, since COVID, there has been a big shift where it's gotten 80% online. Like, customers are hardly visiting the store, right? So what do you think has changed from then to now? Like, I'm sure when you all were working in like Aza or Pernias, what are the things that you think you all didn't even have to think of back then that you now have to pay like close attention to?
So first it was all about how the rack looks, or the mannequin looks.
Right.
Now it's like how it should look on this tiny little screen. So it needs to be it needs to be clean. The pricing needs to be evident. I think customers lose interest within 5 seconds. So if they stop, there has to be a reason. There should be color. The color should be it should be easy on the eyes. It should not it should be very clean cut. The pricing should be available, and the whole navigation system now is like, if you swipe up, if it takes 10 seconds to load, that person ain't coming back. So the whole even asking designers for images, catalog images, it needs to be. It's like, many designers do not know this, but we ask them to not exceed each image being more than 1 MB, because it'll do the job of having the resolution. Then we have to reduce the quality, like not the quality, reduce the MB, to make sure whatever is uploaded is not very heavy, because a website can crash like that, and when you're swiping up, it should immediately pop up. Like, there's that lag is what can completely break a sale. So that is something now we have to think of. Like, when I'm going through, like, as a client, or like I'm just checking like the PTAT website or the House of Mego website, I immediately tell them, I'm like, listen, this is lagging. This product won't sell then. So these kind of things you have to keep thinking about. and it has to visually be really appealing, because that is where marketing and merchandising go hand in hand with social media as well.
Right.
And also now everything is about reels.
Yeah.
And so you have to be in trend with the reels with the social media team thinks of. So in that case also the reel cannot be more than a few seconds. If it crosses 30 seconds, I don't think everyone
Everyone's
has lost
watching it,
interest.
yeah.
So the
Yeah.
idea is then you like that shop now, all of these little things I think is very important.
Yeah.
So that's where I think now
Yeah.
from rack to screen.
Screen. I think
is
attention
where-
span was never an issue back then, no? Because once the client is in the store,
it's much more fast paced now, you know, like
Yeah.
visually and everything. It's you know, you want everything really quick,
Yeah.
and you know, you're constantly, even as a merchandiser, I'm sure as a designer also, you're constantly thinking that, you know, how do you make someone still want, you know, this outfit when they haven't really even felt the fabric, they haven't seen this in
Right.
person.
Right.
So I feel like every photo shoot, every you know, description that you might put up on a website, even a caption that you put up, any trend that you react to, I think now is much more intentional and it's way more meticulous. Where I feel back in the day, you know, you're like online or on social media, it would just be for presence, in the sense just you know, just to be like, oh yeah, we're still here.
Yeah.
It wasn't to drive sales at that point. You
Right.
weren't expecting it to actually bring you conversions.
Right.
It was to bring the customer into your store or to just remind them of your existence. But now it's not like that. Now everything that goes up on that screen, like you have to treat that like she said, like you have to treat that screen like your shop window. Like how I dress it up, like I want a person to look at that and
Yes.
walk in. And this is like, that one photo, those 3 seconds that I have of someone's attention, should want them to click it. So
Right.
everything is intentional, like every placement, that why is this price here and not down, and why is it on the left side and right side, and all of that, everything is
Makes a
very
big-
intentional now.
Very intentional. Also navigation. Now there's no salesperson to help you. Oh, this will work
Yeah.
really look good on
Yeah.
you.
Right.
It's all online.
Yeah.
So that's why the navigation system has to be amazing. That is actually what
Yeah.
can make or break a website, to be very honest. Because if they lose interest, then it goes abandoned cart. Then it's the marketing team
Yeah.
effort to try and push them to come back to getting to that cart, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I think that is also very important.
No, makes sense. So I'm sure you all are like around this data at all times. You all have met so many clients, understood so many different trends and whatnot. So I have 2 questions. You all can decide who wants to take which one.
Oh, okay.
So question number 1 is, one style, if you had to bet on, that you think would like survive for the next 2 years, give or take, no matter what trend comes and goes, which one would it be? And number 2, what is that one trend that's like really hot right now but you wished it just vanished?
Oof. Oh my lord. So I mean, do you want to take the which trend you want, or should we just answer both?
Yeah,
What do we
go
think?
okay, yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
I think the classic shirt is something that is gonna be timeless in a way.
Okay.
Like if you make it short, make it long, crop it up,
Right.
like there are different ways. I think that is something that is
Completely
probably
agree.
something that will stay, at least in my eyes. And a trend which now I think, which I wish never happened. That is a little hard, isn't it?
It's very hard. Yeah, I can't think of that at all.
I think classic shirt and blazer is what I would think.
Oh
like
my
that's
god,
my
don't add
favorite.
2 now. You just
That's the interesting one.
I think so. I don't mind bell bottoms, but I think they don't
yeah.
really do much.
It's okay, you can be brutal about it.
No, like I mean, I do like wearing the ones, you know, like which are like leggings, which are a little comfortable. But I think bell bottoms, which are like jeans.
They should go away.
No. Like I don't know. That is just on the top of my head. I think that is one.
It's okay, you're being very sweet about it. I'd just be like, bell bottoms, leave.
Really? Okay, great. Good. Got it
Even
from the
I
designer now. Yeah, designer stylist knows. Yeah.
I think for me, one thing I think that will always stay in is denim. I think like as a layer, I'm a
Not
big
in
fan of
bell-bottoms.
denim. Oh no, I can't swear. Not a bell bottom for sure. But yeah, like a layer, like you know, like a denim jacket that you do, or even like a like a denim dress, anything. I feel that's always, it looks so classic, and there are so many ways in which you can style it, dress it up, dress it down. There's lots that you can do, and now I think over time that has also, people would look at it in a very casual sense, but now you see it in, very interesting styles that people make like denims in. And I don't mean just jeans, I mean like as a dress, as a jacket, as
You
anything.
see bags also in
Bags,
There are
yeah.
saris also.
saris. Yeah.
I think it's, that's something that I don't see that go out of fashion. And the trend,
Like a really hot trend right now.
I can't think of any.
A
I can
really
think of zero.
a trend which is like what
Which I wanted to like basically go.
Yes.
Which trend would that be?
I have such a good one, but I'll be cancelled
tell me in
for
my
it.
ear.
No.
like I can think of all the classics. Like she said denim, I can think of little black dress also.
Yeah.
There are so
You
many.
wanted to go away?
No, I want that to stay. I'm thinking like when it comes to
I
the
think
class.
what do you want to cancel? Like bell bottoms for sure.
Think. It's okay. I don't want to spoil it because I have it at the end.
There is one print which I'm not like I used to like it as a kid.
Go ahead.
Is this cheetah, like in
animal
this
print.
animal, like I like animal print. I'm not saying I don't, but there's a way to do it, I think. I don't know.
I wore animal print and walked in the morning. I'm hurt.
I think a lot of people are gonna be hurt because animal print
Okay,
is like.
cut that out.
Oh my god.
We came in as best friends, now we become frenemies. Sorry.
I'm walking out in this. I'm not leaving.
Oh my god, I love that.
I personally I'm not saying I don't like animal print, but I do. For some reason, I like an animal print sari pisses me off.
Oh god.
No,
yeah.
but
You know what I'm
no,
saying?
even
I'm
I
talking
wouldn't
about
like
like
that.
animal print and maybe in like I think like I have crop tops in animal print like a zebra
Yeah.
and stuff. I would wear that, but
Fine, I wore that.
oh, you were zebra. Okay, good.
was down,
But I think like if I see someone in a full like okay, you know what it reminds me of? Janice from Friends.
Oh my god.
You know, I'm saying
yes.
that kind of.
Now that needs to be cancelled.
Yeah, like that kind of like with that sound like the laugh and everything.
I think that's why you don't like it because the
Maybe.
moment you see like animal print, you're like Janice.
Yeah, so I think it's more animal print maybe in Indian wear is what I would not like to see anymore.
Okay, love
oh
that.
yeah.
I might like it later, who knows.
I think I would. I think it's anyway out now, but I think like those really big kind of gowns
Oh, I
and that can and like
hate
all
them.
of that. I think it should. Yeah, it should just stay.
I think
far
I've
away.
said that in the last episode. I've literally said
I
that.
think it's done like enough.
Flouncy
Like,
gowns.
yeah,
People are still doing that.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous
It's
in a gown. I don't think
reception,
you should do
you
it.
wear a flouncy ass gown. There's no other way to look
There has to
grand.
be some structure. There
Yeah.
needs to be something. Like how is that flattering? Like I just see. I hit it.
Yeah, the structure.
Like I just fit it and then you're just like one drum.
Yeah.
Like why?
Not everyone. This is not a Cinderella story. You know? But yeah, I do understand. I agree with this. Is because I initially have worn lehengas with all this can and. Ladies,
Yeah, there
it
was
just
a- there was a
doesn't fit
time
in the
for it.
suitcase.
There was a time for it and
If it's
that's
a
past,
wedding,
That's a
if it's a
very-
destination wedding.
Your carry on just has the can in it.
Yeah. So can also, I mean, thoda kam kar do.
Yeah.
See, guys, thank you. That's a very good marketing for me. Roology doesn't do can or flouncy gowns. You only do structure.
Yeah, I like that. Like I don't mind little can, but not like
Yeah,
push,
not
like
like-
you know, where
Yeah.
it's suddenly like the suitcase is its own person or something.
Yeah.
Totally. Love that. Love that. Very strong opinion. Okay, so I think we've covered like about fashion merchandising both online and offline. And now I would like to deep dive into multi-designer stores and curation. So, I feel like gone are the days when Indians used to only splurge on wedding wear. Now people are going big on casuals. People want statement pieces, right? And I think that's where multi-designer stores like a Nezo or a Project Tete comes into picture. So I want to understand what is it that sets these stores apart from the traditional ones like an Azza or an Onsom or a Pernia's pop-up shop.
Honestly, I love the idea that in the past few years, people don't look at luxury fashion just for, Indian weddings or like your big occasions. It's more about, how you show up every day. Because now that everything is so digital, everything's online, social media, like your style is literally your personality.
True.
So I feel like stores like Nezo or Project Etiquette, I think drive straight into that sentiment, where you get the edge, you have the fun clothes, and then you have all the glam, and like thinking more trend forward
Yeah.
kind of outfits. It's not it's basically like a wardrobe upgrade that
Right.
people are looking at, because it's more about even your basic lunches, brunch, or like just a day out, you're going taking a small holiday. It's all of that. Everything is about how you look. It's how you feel on a daily basis. And I feel previously it wasn't like that. People would like very easily be wearing fast fashion all the time, and they wouldn't really invest in luxury clothes or designer wear regularly, because they'd be like, ये कहाँ पहन के जाना है? What are we doing with it? I mean, I'm just going out for lunch with my family or with my friends. Like, what's the need of wearing something so expensive? But I don't think it's about that anymore. It's just about how a person wants to look now, and I feel that's great. I love that.
Yeah, I also agree with her in this case. Also, I think when COVID happened, a big shift happened in the fashion industry where people wanted more loungewear. People wanted to invest in stuff like that. They, wanted to have that feel good energy at home, not just wearing like a loose t-shirt or something that, really like now that's trending also very much so, like loungewear and like knitwear, like good quality. And I think from like shopping, just keep going to places like Zara or Mango or any of these stores. I think now investing in like everyday wear, first of all, like and having some kind of identity is really essential. And the thing is, what we do as merchandisers, we do that QC check, we do all of that, so that in itself is a whole process. And once we do that, then there is we are giving a customer product which is long lasting. So it's not like you're going to end up buying it and you're going to throw it in a year or something. It's something. So I think customers are understanding that I want to invest in this because the fabric is good, it is going to last me for years. So in a way it's actually saving me money in a way. So I think that is really, it is an investment. And I think in terms of designers, like something you want to even wear for like a cocktail and stuff, like now people, which I'm really loving to see, is they don't wear it just one time, they style it up and they wear it again. And I think that is very essential now, especially for sustainability as well. So I think in that way people are now more conscious about what they buy. And I think that is very, very important, even like for the environment, to be very honest.
And I think designers have also evolved in the way they used to design first. Their mindset also used to be that it needs to be something heavy, for something like intense, hectic kind of looks. But now your more established names to your emerging designers, everybody is doing things that people can style differently, where maybe I'll wear one of the jackets for pair it up with something more contemporary and wear it on not a cocktail or not a sangeet night. It's the versatility, I think, of the outfits also that you see now is giving the customer that confidence that I can wear this, I can style it in so many different ways, I'm not going to be stuck with it. So it gives them the liberty to want to shop more and be able to use it in different ways.
And also there are a lot of designers who have become like, their USP is upcycled fashion, where they are taking used fabric and they are either reusing it in like patchwork and stuff like that, or they are like basically manufacturing it again, or like doing recycling it in some way. And I think that is just really important. And so that whole process in itself is quite expensive, but the end product is also quality. And like a really good design.
So I feel like another important thing like these new age multi-designer stores like Nezo or PTAT are doing is y'all are constantly on the lookout for fresh brands. You're constantly trying to get newer brands to the audience, right? So, but when you onboard like a very new brand, it takes time to build a certain credibility with your clients. So you of course have to onboard some, already established brands. Now, how do you sort of maintain this balance between established brands and new brands?
So from like according to me, I think first of all, like some customers get worried to shop from an unknown designer. I've noticed this, like they are like, okay, which brand is this? Some people are brand conscious, but now I'm seeing people now not caring more about the design, more of the quality. So I mean, when I started off, like I did speak to few brands who also, like, I think that's a balancing act of having really good designers, like who are already established, and kind of figuring out which brands you think are going to be like the next big thing. Because
Right.
some of these designers, like I would just give you an example, this brand called Balav, she's amazing, she's a trendsetter herself, she like the product she has, the quality, everything is top notch. And I think these designers, they are creating a whole new category of designs which you have never seen before, and it's
Right.
really unique. And you're getting, at the end of the day, you're getting a product which is of good quality
Of
and
course.
which will last in your wardrobe. So I think that is really essential.
Yeah, I think as a multi-designer store, I'd say having like an equal kind of curation makes a lot of sense, because I think you need to there's a motive to why someone is shopping. Sometimes they're leaning more towards the legacy of a designer, and
Right.
where an outfit speaks for itself. Certain designers that everybody will be able to point at and say, oh, I know who you're wearing.
Right.
So if is that the motive that they're shopping with, or is it that they want to stand out and wear something which is maybe a conversation starter rather.
Yeah.
And it's less mainstream. It's from
Right.
an emerging designer. It's got the quality, it's got the look. And it's not that much about trust, I'd say, because as a multi-designer store, I feel it's easier established. One, because of course, you have a good mix of designers, and the moment you have designers which are, so well known, they act sort of, you can say, like anchors,
Right.
in your
Anchor
store.
brands.
Yeah.
And because you have brands like that, as a store also is your responsibility, where you keep up that standard. So even for your emerging brands, the kind of looks you'll get has to be up to that type of quality and uniqueness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, you're looking at that, so your customer also understands that, because they see that you have these designers who have so much credibility, and they're associated with a
Yeah.
store, and at the same time you are giving the customer the opportunity to explore and discover a new brand that they haven't seen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point of a multi-designer store, right? Like, you are trying to bring to them what they don't have, like what they
Yeah.
can't see everywhere.
Yeah.
So I feel it needs to be like a
good balance. Balancing act, like I said.
Yeah,
It needs
Yeah,
to be
plus
a
I
mix.
think that also ends up helping a new brand, because being placed beside an already
Yeah.
credible established brand ends up giving the new brand also some credibility
Yeah.
in a
Yeah,
way.
it's a really good place for new emerging designers to
Yeah.
showcase, and I
Yeah.
think that is really important in this day and age, because
Right.
some of these designers who are established, they're already part of these massive companies. So
Yeah.
what will then set us apart?
Yes,
We need to show
for sure.
clients that there is a lot out there. There are so many designers who are so like so good at what they do, and the finishings. In fact, there have been some where I think they're probably even better.
Better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So this brings me to a sort of a juicy question, but I'm sure a lot of people would want to know this. Brands.
Yeah.
Come on,
How
we
many
haven't
things
even
do you
come
want
to
us to
juicy
spill?
questions. I'm sure a lot of brands would love to know this. Like, what is it that makes you pick one brand over the other?
I think it's a lot of things, yeah. Like, so many factors that get you to the decision, I think. But off the bat, if you think of it, I think it's about like how unique a brand is, how quality, of course, like I said, you
And
have to
design.
match a certain level of quality. And why should I have it in my store? For the only reason that is it overlapping with a look that I already have. It's something as simple as that.
Okay.
The collection might be stunning, but if I already have something which is already, it's on the same lines. I'm not saying it's a
Right.
copy or anything, but an aesthetic is an aesthetic, right?
True, yeah.
So if it doesn't make sense in my store positioning, and if I feel it's too much, I'll probably not be able to choose it at the moment, maybe later. So it depends. It also depends on at what time you're trying to choose something like this.
Right.
Maybe I'll come across something in this season which is, more for like a festive look or something. I would rather wait on it. Like, I'll choose something more easier right now that somebody will pick up as a no-brainer while they're going on a holiday. Maybe I won't choose something which is more festive at this moment.
Right.
So I think a lot of things
That
add
also,
on to that.
I think that is definitely, quality is something. Keep getting, has this come for quality check? Like, has this come, this keeps happening, like, in
Right.
the store
Samples
team.
and all of that
Samples
keeps
and all of
coming,
that. And so that is number one. Also, I think at the end of the day, you have to think about the money. You have to think about the finances that you're going to bring for the store. So
Right.
if the commission or the percentage is too low, where the brand, like, it needs to be a win-win,
True. Yeah.
So that is also, I think, I mean, not a lot of
Very
people speak
important.
about it, to be very
Yes.
honest.
Yeah.
But that is something which is also where my client, my founder, he or anyone, any of my clients, they might not be happy with the commission they're getting, because the amount of money it takes, where, like, I don't think everyone understands this, but the money it takes for marketing the brand, hiring us, like, having all of this whole team of people,
Yeah.
rentals, all of that,
Everything,
to
yeah.
sell your product.
Yeah.
We also, that commission, that is what we are needing for, doing the whole marketing, doing all of that. So
Yeah.
I think that is something not a lot of people think of, where, like, you
Yeah.
have to select, like, if I am getting two designers who probably are equal quality, similar customer base, like a customer would buy either of them. So I think that one person might have a little higher up advantage if they're ready to flesh out a little more commission. I'm not saying a lot.
Right.
Like, sometimes the commission doesn't matter if the product quality is insane. So quality, I think, is number one.
Yeah,
But we have to think about these things also, which not a lot of people talk about, to be very honest. So.
But that actually brings me to a very important point. India being a very price sensitive market, how do you sort of justify to your clients the price points of a new brand? Because if it's, say, a Sabyasachi or a Manish Malhotra, people know that these are the prices. But now new brands are coming up and, the prices are pretty similar. So how do you sort of justify these prices?
So in this case, I think it's a lot to do with quality again, and also a lot to do with, like, the fabric. Like, now like, our sales team can tell them that this is something that's going to last in your wardrobe, like I mentioned before. And like, basically there should be some kind of we try and offer this as much as we can, where we take help from the designers, and where if there are any issues, where if the product tears, hypothetically, if it does, which we don't think will happen, but if it does, you give that option that, we will get it fixed for you. All of these little services, I think, do help in a way to kind of sell a new, like, a designer which is not super well known, to give them that promise that, you will have it in, like, good condition, and, like, I think that is really important in one way.
Yeah, but I genuinely feel that, with time I've realized that this is evolving. This kind of thought process that clients have, that why is this so expensive, is really changing, because, something that has that kind of quality and uniqueness, when it takes up that much time, artistry, and, that goes into making an outfit like that, it can't be cheap. Right? You're using everything which is, like, from your fabric to your quality to just the tailor make of it, how it fits, how it falls on your body, the design of it. All of that, I feel like a customer who really understands luxury, very rarely do you need to, actually make them understand why a product is priced in such a way.
But I also, adding to this, I do, like, this is completely what she's saying is super relevant, but also what I have told designers to do, I know it's not very easy because many are camera shy, is I tell them, create a story, because now we're all in the reel age, so create a story, show the behind the scenes,
Yeah.
show what it takes to make that product.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
think that is also essential. So even during these Soho events we tell them to make a talking story or do a behind the scenes,
Yeah.
show what your brand is about. Because I think
Right.
that is so important in this
Yeah.
day and age, where, because I honestly am someone, I like to buy something when I know the story of the brand,
Right.
like where they've started, how they started. So I think that is also really important,
True.
Yeah, and in an
nowadays.
age now where everything we have the benefit of everything being digital, it's so easy now to create something to tell your customer and educate them as to why something why is it at the value that it is at. And I think it's very important even for a customer to know what are they exactly spending on. Like a lot of Indian designers, a lot of their designing is rooting into culture and handcrafted, hand-woven
Exactly.
textiles and all of that. So they need to know,
Yeah.
like, what is it? Like a lot of things, yes, a lot of people will be able to tell and look at it and say, yeah, this is a bandi or this is a patola. But there is so much more into it. Like there is
Yeah.
leather that people use, which is like out of recycled material, and all of that is hectic. It's not easy to
Yeah,
just
of
get that
course.
out and make it. So
Yeah.
when a person understands why something is priced at that, I think then they don't mind paying the price.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And even we always tell the sales team also, let the client know this is hand embroidered.
Right.
Let them know
Yeah.
it's this
Yeah,
fabric.
so
I
important.
even push designers saying have a tag of something about your brand also. Have that
Yeah.
brand story. Do your marketing
Yeah.
through my multi-designer store, like by just showing that little information. Like,
Yeah.
you can even have like a QR code where they can just open up and see, okay, this is the product. They also do this thing that's made by this artisan. I think
Right.
all of these little things
Yeah,
really
that's
help
so important.
And I think the customers also, like, they are also a little more curious. They want to know. They
Yeah.
just don't shy away by looking at the tag.
Yeah.
They want to know more about the brand. They're not directly hinting at, oh, why is this so expensive as such, but they just want to know what's the story behind it, because they understand there's not a tag just because.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Like that opens so many doors
Yeah.
for, I'm sure, a lot of brands who are facing this. Oh, but why is this so expensive?
Yeah.
Even
yeah.
online, little bit is written next to the image, catalog
Yeah.
image. Now, if you go on a lot of these websites, a little bit write up is written about the product also, which I think all that is done so the customer understands that this is the price for a reason,
Yeah.
So I think that's super important.
Makes sense. Lovely. So this brings us to my last question, which is how do you think, or where do you think Indian curation or Indian multi-designer houses stand when you compare them to international houses like, say, a Net-a-Porter or a Farfetch?
So I think the Indian curation that there is right now is really catching up, in the sense that I feel it has a lot of soul to it, to luxury. 100%, like your Net-a-Porter and Farfetch, they're brilliant when it comes to their scale and the global
Luxury.
access that they have, and just their tech. All of that, like they might be acing it there, but I feel Indian curation is a lot more personal. So when you
Right.
see it, it's a lot more curated. It's not just stocked.
Yeah, it's very
So when you're
personal.
going through it, it's like a storytelling that's
Right.
going on when you're scrolling through websites.
India in general has so much history, so much culture, which sets it apart from, in fact, some of the brands of these Net-a-Porter and all of these places, a lot of them, like many of the designers' embroidery is done in India.
Yeah.
But what we do is we tell a story, because it's like literally close connection from Jaipur, wherever it is. I think that is a huge, like, talking about the heritage, talking about the story. Also, the difference is there are so many festivities in India. Like
Yeah.
like now we are planning, like I'm, in talks with designers for Rakhi,
Rakhi,
as
yeah.
being one of the festivals that's happening. So I think we have so many where we have to curate and we have to make designs for so many brands,
Yeah.
so many festivals. So I think that is it's very different from what I think
international. Yeah.
these international, like they have Christmas and maybe New Year's and
But
stuff
it's pretty
like
much
that.
the
Pretty
same.
much same.
Yeah.
But here and now we are seeing a lot of people wearing Western wear and styling it with Indian jewelry
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
these kind of festivals,
yeah.
which also is like something which we want to cater to as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that definitely makes a big difference.
Definitely. So, yeah, guys, that brings us to the end of this. Thank you so much for letting me pester you for so long. But as a return gift, I'm gonna come to this segment which we call as guest becomes the host, wherein both of you get one question each. For me, no limit at all, just anything.
Mine's on my phone, like I said. Let me read it quickly.
Oh my gosh,
What
you've
did
come
it say?
prepared. It's
I have.
scaring
I'm
me
just
now.
gonna think.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so behind the scenes, we saw a lot of jewelry by Arushi. So it seems like you are a jewelry fan.
Yes.
So would you, is maybe jewelry as part of a category for Roology in the future?
I love that you tapped onto that because I have been saying this around to everyone that we are done with Roology. Roology is a parent brand, and now we're sort of tapping into loungewear with athleisure. The
Very
next step
excited.
is accessories.
Woohoo! Got the answer!
This is all hers, guys. This is all her.
Definitely. I think I've been an avid collector since years. So no matter what shoots we do, all the campaigns, I never source jewelry because even the pop-ups that I'm participating in, I am going around the stores looking for the quirkiest jewelry pieces, and I feel like I have a big collection now. So that is something I'm definitely.
Oh, and I have a follow-up question. Since I have a client, the House of Migo, I will be asking for pieces for that. See, merchandising right now also.
I love that.
No days off.
I love that. Thank you.
Mine.
Your phone.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
Okay. No, it's very simple. I just want to know basically how do you stay creatively alive in an industry that it is now, where clients want newness so often.
Right, so that is actually a very important question because I feel like as a brand owner, the only time I'm designing, I would say, is 0.2% because rest of it is just sales and marketing and finances. And this one thing that I make sure is I do not do a trend study. What I do is I take 2 days off where I'm disconnected. I am not going to pick up any calls. I'm not going to talk to anyone. I sort of just sit down and, at that time, I try to understand what is it that I'm feeling, the zeitgeist. What I come up with very personal stories. Like if there's, for example, Starry Night, one collection very close to my heart.
Yeah.
So it was born out of this story that how Roology began, how it began from nothing to a little something was a big struggle. And in that moment, I realized I had no one by my side. But just because I had that faith inside of me, I could build it. So I made that into a story. I made it into a story and I realized what is this emotion, okay? So I linked it to the painting Starry Night because when I look at that painting, that is how I feel. Now, all of this unwinding you can only do when you're disconnected from the world.
Yeah.
Now that I've gotten my concept down, that this is my emotion, this is my visual inspiration, then I sort of like make my sketches based on that. And now I'm going to look at trends. But a very crucial part about trends is that I only pick up trends that align with my brand identity.
Yeah.
Because I cannot, with every new collection, I cannot just make something that is so not Roology, but I just have to make it because it's trending right now.
Yeah, like how do you stay authentic in all of this where like trends are like far apart?
Yeah, I feel like you just have to meet people halfway because you also have to think about how long is a certain trend going to last. For example, if you take up, say, neon, neon is not going to last long.
Yeah.
So,
It's a fad, yeah.
let's take up sheer. Sheer is very, very in trend right now, right? So now if I'm taking a trend like sheer, I'm going to make sure that I put it in a silhouette. Like I make a tulle skirt, an A-line tulle skirt. Now, that is a classic silhouette. I am mixing up a trend but also keeping something classic in it. So once this trend oozes out, this trend of sheerness oozes out, my client can still style it because there is an element which is classic. So that's how I sort of like always maintain a balance. It cannot be a completely hot trending piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love that.
Love that.
And now we know why she won't answer our calls for 2 days in a row.
Now I know.
No, guys.
That's why every other day, na, like the life of a merchandiser calling them and
Oh God.
okay, she's available on Tuesday, not Fridays.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oops, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, so thank you so much for grilling me as well. But this brings us to our last section, promised. This is a fun game that we do, a rapid fire round. Merchandisers or a curator.
A spoon, your hands, your ghost.
No.
Sorry.
It's basically a curator's edition where I will give you a few trends and you will tell me if you will curate it or cancel it.
Okay, we're back.
In under 3 seconds, no thinking, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Curate, cancel.
Okay, trend number 1, logo mania, all over logo.
Cancel.
Cancel.
Love that. Okay, number 2, and this is what I was thinking about, Labubu dolls.
Cancel.
Shut up. I'm carrying on.
Oh my God.
Again, we're not friends anymore.
I'm with you.
It scares the shit out of me. And
Rate it. Keep it.
I get nightmares of Excel sheets and Labubu dolls.
And you know, we are going to be...
sitting inside for you.
Oh no. I
Shona,
don't know, it reminds me very clowny vibes. I don't know.
Same.
And I'm shit scared of
And I was
clowns.
so scared to say this.
Honestly, I
On
don't care
record.
about it much, but I'm someone who runs on FOMO, so I just needed to have one.
Yeah, there's a
I tried to
Labubu
have
doll
one.
right there.
Yeah, they can be friends.
Shona, we're probably gonna get cancelled for saying this. Okay, last trend. Ultra low rise pants.
Oh, cancel.
Cancel.
Dude, cancel.
Okay, maybe once I have that flat belly, then
That's
maybe.
not happening. Yeah, when you calculate it, that's not happening, so cancel.
Cancel. Okay. Okay, last trend. Tie dye making a comeback.
I think that's interesting. Maybe curate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shona, mere face.
The thing is, I just saw so much of it like couple of years ago where it
Yeah.
was just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So curate, but much later in the future.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
I feel
It's
there are
coming
too many
back.
things because like when we were younger, there were so many things which are trending now, and you feel like, oh, I just gave it away, and it's already
Yeah,
back.
it's come
like
back.
It feels like no, it's too soon.
Definitely.
I would curate it being a merchandiser and having
Yeah,
to sell.
yeah.
But
May not be
the
a personal
reason,
favorite.
personal favorite, actually I grew up with the whole hippie clothing
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
Oh my
So
God,
I
yeah.
have worn it, finished it,
Yeah.
then seen it, gotten completely bamboozled with the amount of tie-dye I saw. But yeah, I would curate it.
Yeah, but I have a fun surprise with it. New collection. I think you'll like it.
Thank God I didn't say cancel.
No, it's okay. Even if y'all said cancel it, I would send it to you. Oh God, this has been super fun, guys. Thank you so much. We loved this. I hope you all loved it. Now, do not forget to follow Aditi and Shona and their stores. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay audacious and curious.